Good morning, students. Today we are going to see reproduction part 2. In the last video we have already seen vegetative reproduction in plants and vegetative reproduction in certain organisms. In this video we are going to talk about asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction in plants. First, we'll see asexual reproduction. The name itself suggests asexual means there is no fusion of gametes, only there is a production of an offspring by a single parent without formation and fusion of gametes. So there is no fusion of gametes. If there is a fusion of male and female gamete, then it is called sexual reproduction. In asexual reproduction, there is no fusion of gametes, only daughter cells are formed from the parent cells. So it involves only mitotic cell divisions. I have already explained you what is mitotic cell division. Mitotic cell division means single cell is getting divided into two cells. That is called mitotic cell division. There is no fusion of male and female gametes. If there is a fusion of male and female gametes, then it is called meiotic division. Here in asexual reproduction, only mitotic division happens. Since one cell is getting divided into two, that is the parent cell gets divided into two and form offspring. The produced offspring are identical to parents, not only identical but also exact copies. They will be exact copies of their parent. This is your asexual reproduction. Now we are going to see how this asexual reproduction happens. Usually this asexual reproduction happens in fungi and bacteria. This is the most common method by which this fungi and bacteria reproduces. Generally this asexual reproduction involves spore formation. Something called spore will get formed during this asexual reproduction in fungi and bacteria. Refer to this picture. You have this fungal hypha. At the time of asexual reproduction, the spore will get formed in a structure called sporangium. This round spherical shaped structure is there, no? That is your sporangium. At the time of asexual reproduction, this fungal hypha produces a structure called sporangium, and inside this sporangium the nucleus divides several times, and each nucleus with a small amount of cytoplasm develops into a spore. So this ball-like spherical shaped structure is your sporangium. Inside the sporangium there will be several number of spores formed. These spores will be formed by the division of nucleus into many number of times. So this nucleus gets divided into many number of nuclei, and each nuclei with a small amount of cytoplasm develops into spore. Likewise, there are plenty number of spores will be formed inside this sporangium. When the spores are liberated, that is, when the spores come out of this sporangium, then each and individual spore gets developed into new daughter of this fungal hyphae or the offspring. So this is how asexual reproduction happens. Asexual reproduction happens by spore formation. At the time of asexual reproduction, a structure called sporangium develops in the fungal hypha. This inside the sporangium, nucleus gets divided into many number of times, and each nucleus along with a small amount of cytoplasm that is called as spore. Spore is nothing but a cell, and these spores will be plenty in number inside this sporangium, and when the spores come out of this sporangium, each and every single spore gets developed into new fungal hyphae. This is your asexual reproduction. Next we are going to see sexual reproduction in plants. As I have already explained, sexual reproduction happens with the fusion of male and female gametes, and these two gametes fuse to produce offspring of their own kind. So For this fusion of gametes to happen, there has to be male and female sex organs. As we have already seen in your earlier classes, a flower of a plant is a reproductive organ. Now we are going to see in detail how this flower becomes part of sexual reproduction. So this slide shows the picture of a flower. Flower is nothing but a modified shoot with limited growth, because the flower's main function is to perform reproduction, that is sexual reproduction. So this is the structure of a flower. Flower consists of 4 whorls borne on the thalamus. First part is the calyx consisting of sepals. Refer to the picture. This green color lower part of the flower is known as your sepal. Sepal is the calyx part. Next is your red color petals. Petals is your corolla. Next is your yellow color filament like structures. This is called your androecium. These 6 filaments are there, no, yellow color structures. These are your androecium. Androecium, also known as stamens. Then the 4th part is the central part, which is mentioned as carpel. These carpel, consisting of carpels, is called gynoecium. So these are the 4 whorls of the flower. First one is the calyx part, consisting of sepals. You would be seeing, no, this lower part, green colored lower part is your calyx consisting of sepals, and then the red color part is your corolla consisting of petals, and then this yellow color part is your androecium consisting of stamens, and then the central green color part is your gynoecium or pistil consisting of carpels. This is your structure of flower. In flower there are only 4 parts: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. This calyx and corolla are referred to as non-essential whorls, as they do not directly take part in the reproduction, whereas this androecium and gynoecium are known as essential whorls because they actively take part in reproduction. So remember, calyx and corolla, they don't take part in reproduction, but androecium and gynoecium, they take part in reproduction. Now we are going to see each and every structure of this flower in detail. As we have already seen, androecium and gynoecium take part in sexual reproduction. So we are going to see the structure of androecium and pollen grain in detail. As I have already mentioned in the earlier slide, that yellow color filamentous structure are known as your androecium. Androecium consists of stamens. Each stamen consists of a stalk called the filament and a small bag-like structure at the tip called your anther. So each androecium, it is composed of stamen, and each stamen consists of a stalk called filament. You can refer to the first picture. The filament is the lower part, and at the tip you have a bag-like structure called anther. Now inside this anther, pollen grains are produced within pollen sac. Refer to the same picture, right hand side. When you cut the anther and see it inside, there are small green color particles. These are called your pollen grains, and these pollen grains are formed inside pollen sacs. Now if you enlarge this pollen grain under microscope, you will see the picture which is shown in the below picture. Green colored spherical shaped structure, that is your pollen grain. Pollen grains are usually spherical in shape and has 2 layers. The first outer layer is known as exine. The dark green color layer is there, no? That is your exine. Refer to the pollen grain picture. The dark green colored layer is known as your exine. This layer is very hard and it has prominent apertures. Apertures means hole-like structures called germ pore. Then there is a thin inner layer. It is known as intine. Refer to the picture. One line kind of thing they have shown. That is your intine. Intine is made up of cellulose and pectin, and it is very thin and continuous layer. Mature pollen grains will have two cells, vegetative cell and generative cell. Vegetative cell contains a large nucleus. You can see inside the diagram, the vegetative nucleus consists of a large nucleus. The generative cell divides mitotically into two male gametes. So generative cell divides itself into two male gametes. This is your structure of pollen grain. Pollen grain, you have outer layer called exine, inner layer called intine, and you have two cells, namely vegetative cell and generative cell. Vegetative cell consists of a large nucleus. Generative cell divides mitotically to form two male gametes. So this is androecium is your male gamete, male sex organ of a flower. Next we are going to see gynoecium. Gynoecium is the female sex organ located inside the flower. Gynoecium is the female part of the flower and is made up of carpels. It has three parts: ovary, style and stigma. Refer to the picture. Ovary is the blue colored part, that is your ovary. Above that you have style and top of that you have stigma. Ovary, inside the ovary you have ovules. Now we are going to see detailed structure of ovule. What is there inside the ovule we are going to see. Ovule, the inner central part, there is an oval shaped structure is there, no, where these cells are located. The main part of this ovule is nucellus. Nucellus is the central oval shaped structure. Refer to the diagram. This pink shaped oval shaped structure is your nucellus. That is the main part of your ovule. As we have already seen, this ovule is located inside the ovary, and the main part of the ovule is the nucellus. This nucellus is enclosed by two integuments, leaving an opening called micropyle. If you see this oval shaped structure, nucellus is enclosed, or it is covered by two outer structures, and it leaves an opening at the basal part, that is your micropyle. So this we'll call as micropylar end. Now this ovule is attached to the ovary by way of a stalk called funiculus. You refer to the diagram, see the funiculus. Now this ovary along with the integuments are attached to the ovary by a part called funiculus. Chalaza is the basal part. Refer to the picture. Chalaza they have mentioned, no, that is your basal part. Now this embryo sac which is inside this nucellus, it consists of 7 cells and 8 nuclei. That means totally 8 cells will be located inside this embryo sac. If you count and see, there will be 8 cells. 1 is the nuclei. 3 cells are present at the micropylar end. As I have already mentioned, micropylar end there will be 3 cells, and 3 cells at the chalaza end. Now these 3 cells located at the micropylar end is called egg apparatus, and the 3 cells at the chalaza end are known as antipodal cells. The remaining 2 nuclei at the center, no, these are called polar nuclei, and they are present at the center. In the egg apparatus means the 3 cells located at the micropylar end, that is your egg apparatus. If you take that 3 cells, one is the egg cell and the other 2 remaining cells are known as synergids. So this is the structure of ovule. It's very simple. First, you have a central main part of the ovule that is called nucellus. Now, this nucellus is enclosed by two integuments, leaving an opening at the end called micropyle. This ovule is attached to the ovary by way of a stalk called funiculus. Now, inside this nucellus, you have embryo sac. In embryo sac, you have totally 8 cells. Eighth one is the nuclei. Now, 3 cells located at the micropylar end are known as egg apparatus, and 3 cells located at the chalaza end are known as antipodal cells. The remaining 2 nuclei are present at the center. They are known as polar nuclei. Now, in the egg apparatus, out of the 3 cells, one is the female gamete, that is egg, and the other 2 are synergids. So, we have seen structure of pollen grain where you had 2 male gametes. Then here structure of ovule, this is the female reproductive part, female reproductive gamete. Here you have 1 female gamete. So this is the overall structure of your flower. We all have seen flower in plants, but this is the primary function of a flower. Flowers are produced only to carry on the sexual reproduction. How the sexual reproduction happens, how this male and female gametes inside the flower gets fused and form an offspring, that we are going to see in the next videos. Now, the last slide, this is an important activity. You can take any flower and try to name the parts. Here I have given a detailed parts of the flower. I have given sepals, petals, stamens, and then pistil. So like this, you can take any flower, separate it and see and understand by yourself which one is calyx, which one is corolla, that is sepal, petal, then anther, and then your ovary. Everything you can see in a flower. This comes in one of your practicals also. So I want each and every one of you to perform this activity and come to me. So if you have any doubts in this video, you can feel free to ask me. So in the next videos, we'll see how the sexual reproduction takes place. Thank you.